When most experienced bikers hear of a starter bike, they'd mostly go, "I'll pass, give me the sophisticated stuff instead." But the BMW G310R has always been different. This starter bike never started with the small stuff. It's not an entry-level motorcycle that one outgrows or, even worse, forgets. And what makes it better is that the 2024 model is even packed with more sophisticated features that would make you drool. Having doubts? Stick to the end to hear all the thrilling features of this amazing vehicle from the stables of BMW. 8 years ago, the BMW G310R was introduced to the market and soon became a hit. At first, only non-experienced riders got it because this sport bike has the smallest displacement of BMW's fleet, and nobody wants a boring old slugger. But despite it being safe as a training bike, it could also serve as a standalone bike that could reach top speeds similar to that of larger bikes. So it started getting attention, and when it was discovered that it was budget-friendly, many people wanted one. Since this bike was first released as a concept bike in the 2015 bike show circuit, very little has changed because BMW carried out extensive research and perfected most parts before letting it out. However, the little upgrades that come with each release are always revolutionary. So what's new for 2024? At a price tag of $4,995, the bike is a catch. First, its engine comes with changes that make it more Euro 5 compliant. Then, the bike has an electronic throttle control that comes with an idle speed control feature for itch-free idling, running, and transitions. The bike has also been fitted with adjustable hand levers on both the brake and clutch to allow a wide range of potential drivers to be comfortable using them regardless of their size. But what may be the best of all is the addition of a slip and assist clutch that provides a light lever pull weight and wonderful control through the broad friction zone, while also delivering some anti-hop protection for the benefit of the rear contact patch. And with the addition of LED lighting, the package is fully rounded. Now let's break it down so you'll know what exactly to expect from this ride. We'll start with the design and styling. The BMW G310R makes sure it makes a statement by leading off with an aerodynamic, molded front fender with uprights that also serve as spoilers for the fork tubes that come closely behind. Then there's the LED headlight that sits gracefully in a stylish housing that just matches the design. You can also find a vestigial fly screen that encloses the backside of the instrument display just above the headlight. This instrument display is a high-contrast LCD setup that showcases all the important information. The cockpit is cluster-free, no excessive buttons that might annoy the rider. And of course, there are the adjustable levers we mentioned earlier. As per usual, the seat is low, but this time around, you can opt for a model with a seat as high as 30.9 inches or even 31.5 inches. The 11 liters fuel tank is situated on top of the engine to ensure its success, despite its 59 mpg at 25.1 km per L fuel consumption rating. The bike's pillion pad is designed with fold-up foot pegs and hunky grab rails, so you can easily have a passenger. The rest of the gear in the rear is set up on a short mudguard with a swing arm mount hugger to complete the fling coverage. You know that amazing LED coverage we mentioned earlier? It extends all the way to the back as well. For the power, it comes from a water-cooled engine, so there is nothing to worry about regarding its thermal stamina, even under very harsh conditions. This engine has an unusual structure, with the cylinder tilting backward like the back of a Harley-Davidson V-twin. The intake system of the engine is in the front, while the exhaust pipe is in the rear, which is the opposite of most single-cylinder bikes. The rear inclining cylinder allows the bottom of the engine and the heavy transmission shaft's position there slide forward, shifting the bike's balance onto the front wheel for better stability. It also gives space behind the transmission for the bike's long rear swing arm. With a 313cc total displacement and a 10.9:1 compression ratio, The single-cylinder engine cranks out 34 sweet ponies and 27.9 Newton-meters of torque. This power moves through the fascinating wet slipper-type clutch we mentioned earlier that adds some back torque mitigation to the deal for an extra layer of protection. And lest we forget, there's a 6-speed transmission that allows the bike to reach a top speed of 88 miles per hour, or 141.622 kilometers per hour. To wield all this power easily, the bike is made to have an incredible handling through its well-designed chassis. The G310R's frame is quite rigid, as it's made up of tubular steel paired with the engine. The steering head on the bike allows a rake angle of 25.1 degrees from the vertical, which is toward the steep end of the range for smooth handling and swift cornering, and this is reinforced by the short 4.5 inches of trail. In the back, a cast aluminum yoke-style swing arm perfects the structure. The front is non-adjustable, but the central coilover spring strut comes with the required spring preload touch, so it's all good. If you're in the roughest of urban jungles, you don't have to worry about being uncomfortable. The suspension on the bike measures 5.5 inches and 5.2 inches at the front and rear. The wheels are sturdy and so are the brakes. The 4-bore bi-bray brake caliper grips a single 300mm disc with a single pot anchor and 240mm disc at the back and stock ABS motor rad protection all around. This ABS is very important because it prevents any form of crashes and it ensures that the wheels keep moving until the bike comes to a complete stop. It's also very important because when most riders are faced with a potential crash, they fail to press the brake hard enough. Overall, the G310R is an impressive bike, and it fares well despite its low displacement and being considered an entry-level motorcycle. So don't think twice if you intend to get one today. It's quite affordable. To round off this video, let's compare it to some other top players in the category. Let's start with the Suzuki GSX-250. The Suzuki GSX-250R is one bike that we can't overlook. Just like the Beamer, it can serve both as a trainer and basic transportation. One thing it has going for it is its build. It has a bit more closed-in and compact build than the G310R, since its design is inspired by its larger sport siblings. This bike also allows for passengers without needing to add any other fixtures. However, it doesn't have JC handles like the Beamer. The Suzuki's engine is quite small, with a displacement of about 248 cc, so it cranks up less power than the BMW by dispensing only 25 ponies. Its top speed is 85 miles per hour, 136.794 kilometers per hour, and that's not too far off from 88 miles per hour, so you can also travel interstate with it. We can find an ABS on the Suzuki, but there's no slipper clutch or other razzle-dazzle that comes with the Beamer. This Suzuki model goes for $4,999, a reasonable price but not as low as that of the BMW. So overall, if you're looking to get a starter bike, either works just fine. Coming in next is Kawasaki's Naked Sport Z400. The Kawasaki comes with a slightly larger parallel engine with 399 cc, and it gives off more power than the Beamer, just as expected. The Z400 cranks out 45 ponies at 36.99 Newton-meters, which is an indication of a sporty ride. With that high power, if it has a lesser top speed, there would be questions. So it's no surprise that it has a top speed of 112 miles per hour, 180 kilometers per hour, making it way faster than the Beamer or the Suzuki. Its bodywork is a bit lighter, just like the BMW. The suspension stroke, brakes, and ABS feature are also similar to the BMW. You can also find a slipper clutch with all its perks in the Kawasaki. Despite coming at a higher price, the Z400 might be a better choice because it gives off more power and has a way higher speed. We can also compare the Beamer to the TVs Apache R310. The similarities between the Apache and the BMW is really uncanny. For instance, the Apache gives off 34 horsepower at 27.3 Nm of torque, and so does the G310R, only that the latter has a torque of 28 Nm. However, they have slight differences, such as where the Apache has a mileage of 33.1 kmpl. The BMW has 32.46. The engines in the bikes are also different. The Apache uses a 4-stroke, 4-valve, single-cylinder, liquid-cooled, reverse-inclined engine. The BMW uses a water-cooled, single-cylinder, 4-stroke engine with 4 valves, 2 overhead camshafts with wet sump lubrication. Overall, they are both a catch, but people would rather go for the Beamer. Another bike that could be compared to the BMW is the KTM Duke 200. The KTM Duke 200 is a street bike powered by an engine with the small displacement of 199.5 cc BS6 engine, which has a power of 24.67 horsepower and a torque of 19.3 Nm. That is way less than that of the BMW. It has an anti-locking braking system just like the BMW, but comes with a larger fuel tank that has a 13.4-liter capacity. Regarding the looks, KTM has a sharper and more rugged look that comes with street-naked bikes, which makes it more appealing. It doesn't cost more than the BMW, so riders won't be too disappointed by what they get. But to have a fuller experience, the BMW is a better choice. But when comparing the G310R to the Bajaj Dominar 400, it might be harder to choose the Beamer. Bajaj is a top player in the motorbike industry, so anything that comes out of their factories is mostly a hit. So it's no surprise that many would rather go for a Dominar than a G310R. Starting with the power, the single-cylinder 4-stroke DOHC 4-valve liquid-cooled triple-spark engine found on the Dominar gives off 40 sweet ponies at 8,000 RPM, and it's much higher than the 34 horsepower let out by the BMW. The Dominar can also reach a maximum speed of 155 km/h, making it a beast on the road. And if you thought it came without the important anti-lock braking system, then you don't know Bajaj, because they don't joke around with their products. The Dominar also looks quite impressive, so if you have a little extra to spend, you could go for it, rather than the BMW for a much more rounded experience, especially if you're not an amateur rider. Let's end this video by comparing the G310R and the Triumph Speed 400. The British bike, Triumph Speed 400, comes with an engine that gives off more power than the BMW. It gives off 40 ponies at a torque of 37.5 Nm, 6 horsepower higher than the BMW. This bike looks like a proper Triumph, meaning it's fiercer looking than the BMW, making it a good fit for riders who don't want to be mistaken as someone who lacks experience. However, it can only reach 70 miles per hour, 112.6 kmph, making it less impressive than the BMW in that department. Since it falls in the same price range as the BMW, it'll be better to go for the G310R, unless you're a Triumph loyalist who prefers the rugged look of their bikes. So what do you think? Would you get the 2024 BMW G310R, or are you not impressed by it? Let us know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.